Welcome to TimSold Talks. Join us as we dive into all things real estate, talk about business, food, cars, and much more with industry experts. Dream it, believe it, achieve it. All right, welcome back to another episode of TimSold Talks. Very honored to have Coach Jr and Coach Ken today from the pristine Gators Basketball Academy. I'm not biased on anything because my son does go there, but they are one of the premier organizations in the GTA area. So very warm welcome to you two. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having us, Tim. Appreciate it.
And in keeping tradition with our show, we have some delicacies to try today. Today's sponsors from Bao, so we got some dumplings here. I take it. All right, well, bon appetit. Let's try these out. Yeah, they're just around the corner for everyone that's looking or watching. Let's give them a taste.
All right,
good. So what we're eating here today is a pan-fried pork bun, and Coach Junior's got the vegetarian one. Soft on the outside. And, savory in the middle and crunchy in the bottom. Going back to the Gators Basketball Academy, how long have you guys both been part of the organization?
So I've been there from the conception. I grew up in Markham. I grew up playing in Markham for local clubs and whatnot. And I started coaching from when I was in high school.
Wow.
And Teran Richards and Russell Yardy, the founders of Gators Basketball, they ended up finding me coaching. In their first season, they're recruiting players, so they're going around to community centers and whatnot. And they saw me coaching a group of kids, and they just approached me and just wanted me to get involved, and the rest is history.
So how many years has this been now?
So we're in our 15th year now.
15 years.
We're just about to finish our 15th year.
Wow, okay. So. That's quite a big accomplishment to be such an expanding organization, right?
Yeah.
And Ken, yourself?
I've been around I've been with Gators Basketball for 10 years.
Yeah.
One day just, want to give back to the community. I like basketball. Can't play no more. So, call them up and see if they need any coaches.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? They were starting, 4 years in, and then they just brought me on. And then I started with one team and then two teams, and then slowly helped out with the organization part. And then now I'm one of the person that helps run the Markham Richmond Hillside.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So combined between you guys, how many teams are you guys running? Because it's crazy how much you guys put into it.
So I personally coach, I guess you'd say 2.5 teams. But then Ken coaches a lot more teams.
I coach 4 teams.
Yeah.
4 teams. Yeah.
Wow. And then I also edit all the kids pretty much who are elementary school players. I'm in the gym doing extra training with them as much as I can. So I get to interact with a lot of the kids within the whole organization. Yeah. And in Markham, we have about, what did you say, how many teams?
Markham Richmond Hill. Just Markham Richmond Hill total, we probably have around 27.
27 teams, eh?
Wow. And then in Durham, we have about 20.
Another 20 teams, eh? So that's 40 plus nearly 50 teams. Almost 10, 15 kids a team, right? So that's like... Yeah. You're leading a large chunk of our
like a little army.
Army.
Yeah, we have
army.
So we not only do we have that, we have our camps that we run and whatnot, as well as our development programs and house leagues for kids who are just starting out, right? Not really looking for that team scenario, right? They're more looking just to get on the floor, play a little bit, and go home, right? Yeah. So
because for those that don't understand, the Gators Basketball Academy has several tiers of competition, right? Can you talk about that? Like what's...
Yeah, so for sure, yeah. So from the bottom up, we have development programs, which starts from ages 4 to 15. Yep. Starting from little mini ballers, learning how just to dribble the ball, some of them even learning how to run properly, you know what I mean? So, and then going all the way up to 15, like I said, where they're just, getting some drills and skills and some house leagues and whatnot. And then above that, we have like our rep teams, right, which compete within Ontario. Yep. You know what I mean? And then we also have our AAU and our elite team. So we'll have like a travel team that travels throughout the summer, plays in various tournaments, and then we'll have teams that are like our circuit elite teams that will play in like whatever circuits their coach decide to put them in, but high exposure events, right?
Yeah, no, for my own understanding, like I used to play, back then, but there was no all this like rep club organization or private clubs, right? They're all just, if you made the varsity team, you were the man, right? Like, that was it, right? So pretty much. So tell me about that process, because that's kind of changed in my eyes. Like,
100%. Like when I was playing, like in my area where I live, there's only one rep team you could play for. You know what I mean? And most clubs back then, well, all clubs back then pretty much only had one rep team per age group.
Yeah.
So if you weren't one of those 12 kids, you're playing in a house league or a development program or whatever it may be. So it's grown so much now that there's so many clubs that are having 1, 2, 3, even sometimes 4 rep teams per age group, right? So the development in Canada and Ontario has grown so much to the point where these kids who during our time would have maybe just played once or twice a week, whereas now we have players that would have been house league players back then. They're now playing like 2-3 times a week with their team, practicing, going to tournaments, etc. Right? So it's grown a lot. I think a lot of it has to do with the skyline we see in the background of the Raptors and whatnot, and how they did in 2019. You know, so
the popularity of the sport, the
it's
inclusion,
you know, so. Especially with a lot of players now going to the next level from Canada, you know, there's someone for our kids in this area to look up to, right? So
I guess the influence or the acceptance of, hey, you know, professional sports for all demographics is a possibility, right?
Yeah,
and
for
that's
sure.
Been a great boost, and I think a lot of the basketball organizations have been well to promote you know, the local kind of aspect of it and bringing them to a more federal or provincial or global or national stage. So
100%,
yeah, no, and I guess you guys are part of that movement. So thank you very much for doing that.
So like our 2018 our U18s won a few years ago. Our U17s U17 Canadian team won.
Which
for Canada, right?
So they beat Team USA in the final, I think.
Okay.
One of the players on that roster was one of our alumni, Emmanuel Miller. So Leonard Miller.
Leonard Miller
was part of that roster. There's plenty of Canadian players. Shea Alexander was part of that roster as well. You know, so it's not part of us, but like he's part of that roster.
Team Canada.
Yeah. So like he they are just paving the way for our kids moving forward, right? So
it's good to see, and I think unfortunately they just got knocked out, but Jamal Murray, the Nuggets, like, but proud Canadian. He went to Orangeville Prep, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's also like, talk about that part, like, you know, the prep schools, and that's also kind of exploded in the last
definitely
while
it's
too.
huge. Like some organizations are doing it right, some are doing it, you know, probably not the right way, but it's helping, you know what I mean? Orangeville and Athletes Institute being one of the leading ones with some of the most players playing across the border and playing at professional levels. But it's exploded in quite recently. There's a lot of private schools that have put prep teams together. There's multiple leagues now for these prep teams to play in, including the OSBA. I think North Pole Hoops has a league, and then there's the junior circuit or the national circuit. So
is that your league? Or?
Growing it. No, none of those are there. We actually have a prep team based out in Durham. It's called P3P. Phoenix Prep. And so they've been competing in the junior circuit in a few tournaments here and there. Excuse me, but right now my hands are off of it. If the opportunity comes around, I would be interested in coaching a prep team, but right now I'm just focusing on my AAU guys and the rest of the club, right?
Yeah, no, because you guys looking at your coaching schedules, it's like every single day at least one practice, right?
Yeah, facts. 100%,
And the prep team, they practice quite a lot. They practice like 3 times a week, and they do other stuff as well. They got study hall and all those kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So those are, you know, if you're part of that coaching staff, you got to be there, be available for those times too.
Yeah.
But like right now with us trying to grow Gators basketball, trying to make sure that, you know, it runs smoothly. It's gonna be tough.
It would be hard to be present for sure.
And because you guys don't just talk about the basketball, you're trying to train a whole athlete, like a holistic athlete, right? With their academics, their strength, talk about that. Like what kind of like programs you guys running for that, or how do you kind of encourage? Because just to focus on one basketball, it's what most coaches do, but you guys do that other holistic approach.
Yeah, so it can't just be about basketball, right? Like we're not just in it to say, hey, yo, let's try to get you a scholarship or whatever it may be. It's like we're trying to teach these youth to be young men, responsible. We try to encourage those principles when we're coaching, so that it can translate off the court as well. Again, speaking about the academics, one of the things we call our players is not basketball players, but they're student athletes, right? And that student comes first before the athlete. So let's say he's the best player in the gym, best player in the area, best player in the province. It doesn't matter. If he doesn't have those grades, he's not going to be able to get that scholarship. You know what I mean? So we also encourage them to stand top of their grades. When we get to the older levels for the AAU teams and whatnot, we also do some workshops with them once in a while, letting them know what type of courses they should be taking and what route they need to take when it comes to the NCAA and trying to get into the portal there. So
kind of plan their essentially be a coach, like not just a basketball coach, but a life coach in terms of planning their future, right? Essentially,
for sure.
right? So
for sure, for those who want it, right?
For
those who want it, for those who want to put the work in and try to get to that level, right? So,
and what would you say the success rate of that for just the general population? Like what do you guys have seen? Like how much or what does it take to get to that? And
a lot.
Yeah,
every day. It has to be every day.
Yeah.
It's probably like 1%, 2%, something like that.
Of the
like
general kids.
There's millions of kids out there trying to get scholarships. There's millions of kids out there trying to get professional. You know what I mean? And I often tell my kids, the ones who are trying to pursue that, if there's player A, player B, and player C. You know what I mean? Player A is you, player B is another player, and C is another one. If player B and player C, they have all the same skills as you, but they took the right courses, they got the right grades, they're coachable, they listen, they're sponges, and you have and player A has bad grades, you know what I mean? Coaches will have a certain amount of scholarships they're allowed to give out, right? Whether they're academic scholarships or athletic scholarships. Let's say player C is slightly better than you. He has bad grades. That coach is going to have to give him an athletic scholarship. He might be able to give player B an academic scholarship. And those are the only two scholarships he has left to give. So you're that one player out, right? And there's millions of kids trying to fight for those spots. So, so. Yeah.
And at that level, I think everyone can play. Like there's the skill gaps between that age isn't like, vastly different, right? So it's the additional things that you can contribute.
Other aspects you can bring to the court. Like I've been preaching a lot of communication to my kids recently. They need to be able to speak on the court. Like a lot of players can play the game, but can they talk? Can they be leaders? Can they be an example to the rest of their teammates? Do they get hot-headed when things aren't going well? When things aren't going well, are they able to stay composed? You know what I mean? So those are some of the things we're trying to teach the kids, right? To get them level-headed and stay locked in and focused. So.
And these are important life lessons too as they grow up, right? So it's not just all about basketball too.
Everything in life isn't given to you. It's not. You have to watch your P's and Q's when you're in the workplace, right? So. Yeah, man.
Yeah. No, it's a great. You guys are kind of mentoring young men, like you said, and I think in current climate, I think I heard this from another parent was. Sports is the only real arena where the coaches can still, or the authoritative figure can still discipline them on a legitimate basis, right? Make them run suicides and do some push-ups, right? Like, you wouldn't be able to do that, in a general classroom. So
something as simple as putting basketballs away. Right? Like there's often I have like the younger kids and they'll try to pass their basketball to their parents to put into their bag when I say, guys, put your basketballs away. So I make them redo it. I say, no, you go get your ball and put it in your bag yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Your bag belongs over here. Your shoes need to be over here. Your water bottle needs to be here. Like, all the simple things that will help them be responsible in life.
I know. These little things all add up, and it's great that you can still actually do that and enforce it too. So great job.
We try.
Okay. So, apart from the principles on and off court, like what else do you try to help, you guys are trying to build up Gators right now, right? So what's the next step, or what's important for you guys? What can you guys do or help promote, or what are you guys trying to achieve here?
Yeah. So again, yeah, we're trying to grow the program more.
Yeah.
We're trying to be more on top of things. Try to we've grown.
Yeah. Tremendously.
Since COVID, we actually most people or most clubs downsized during COVID. Sorry, excuse me. Most clubs downsized during COVID. We actually grew.
Oh wow.
And right now our focus is just trying to tighten everything up and make sure everything's running smoothly. And then once we get past that hurdle, we're trying to help out some of our kids who have been less fortunate within the organization, and we're actually looking to get some sponsorships for them and do things like that. So those are some of the things we're pushing right now. And then we're pushing to compete as well at the high level too, right? So
how have you guys done this season? Can you guys talk about the results of what you guys have achieved?
I think we did pretty well. Like our I think we did pretty well. I think like our younger teams, they're more focusing on player development, and with that, and on top of playing together as a team, really helped us compete against teams that are more focused on individual mindset or athleticism over teamwork. Right. So I think our younger teams this year did pretty well. We brought home a couple of Ontario medals.
Quite a bit
actually. And I mean, our older guys are getting there. I mean, I think we're this year. I think it's one of our most successful years this year.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. In terms of winning for our younger ages, our elementary school, when I'm talking like grade 8 and under. Yeah, definitely. We have some high competing teams. Like for our grade 8 age group, we had 2 teams in the top 16.
Wow.
In Ontario, and then we had another team that was in the top 29 or 30 or something like that, and then 2 more following that, right? So that's just that one age group, right? So we're getting some teams competing at high levels for sure.
And with the increasing number of teams that's actually playing, like there's like over like 150 teams per division right now.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Being able to be top 16 out of 179 for the grade 8s.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
So, and
amazing.
That's 2 teams in the top 50 percentile, right?
Yeah.
So, or sorry, more than that. I think it's 4 teams in the top 50 percentile. So, and then we have some ones that are trailing a little bit, but we're getting them up there.
Yeah.
And then then at our high school level, we're not where we used to be at our high school level. Yeah. But we have some pride in our future for the younger kids coming up.
As they all gotta graduate from move up a cohort, then they'll bring their skill sets. They're already dominating their peers right now, right?
So gotta keep it up, right? Keep pushing them, keeping them in the gym. So
no, thank you for that. And I think you touched on something about the charity aspect. Can you elaborate more about that? Like, what are you guys doing, and what do you guys hope to achieve?
Yeah, so our president, Trent Richards, he's involved with a lot of organizations that deal with children with autism, as well as the Special Olympics and whatnot. So we do try to do quite a bit of events that do push some contributions towards them, as well as some resources as well. I personally, my family is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which is a little small island in the Caribbean. And I recently went back home to go visit, and I visited the basketball organizations out there, and like they don't even have an indoor basketball court, so everything they're doing is outdoor. It's on crappy pavement with holes in it and stuff, and makeshift basketball nets and whatnot. But they're doing what they can do, and they're doing their best. And I was fortunate to be able to use our Gators platform to be able to send some stuff back for them, right? Nice. So we ended up sending 2 shipping barrels over to them, which with donations from our Gators family, like players and parents and whatnot, contributed shoes, basketballs, even a rim, socks,
the bare basics, right?
Yeah, water bottles, Wow. So the kids were happy to receive that over there, Yeah, they don't really get easy access to that stuff, so. it was nice to be able to help out.
Yeah, in the developed countries, we often take those things for granted, where we have such easy access to indoor facilities, AC, and just even a normal pair of shoes, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, it's a great cause, and we'll leave some links down below to where some of our audience can help contribute to that as well.
Yeah, for sure, that'd be great. Yeah. We have another. We'll be doing it again for Christmas. Setting some stuff back down. So
Nice.
even if listen, people, even if you have shoes that are lightly used, for them playing on the outdoor courts is it's great.
Yeah. Anything, any little bit helps, right? So good cause. Okay, and we've talked about some of the development that you've kind of seen over the years, and where do you think it's going to go? Like since 15 years ago when you guys Gators started to now we are, and what's going to happen in the next 15 years? Where do you guys want it to bring this organization?
I don't think we're far off from where we want to be.
Yeah.
I think we just need to we just want to have more success for our players. We want to be able to say, hey, we had players and they were successful, whether they're successful on the basketball court at the pro level or college level, or even just in life, right? Like we recently just celebrated one of our players, our alumni, Martin, becoming a doctor, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
We're just happy to be able to contribute and help the kids in the community and be able to get them to, again, be young, responsible men, as well as be able to compete in the sport. And, we just... Yeah, we're pretty much where we want. We just, we just want to,
just make it bigger and better.
Yeah, just keep building on it and make it better. Exactly what you said. Yeah.
No, it's great to hear.
So I think that's all just, helping them become better athletes. As the whole mission is for us to make them, be successful in life, right? So with Martin becoming a doctor, that's some other stuff shows that Gators basketball is not just all about
basketball,
the whole basketball thing, but obviously that's what we do. But we also, really take pride in what our alumni do.
Outside of the sport.
Set them up for future success, for life success, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's always nice to hear one of my players call me up and say, "Hey, coach, how you doing, man? It's been a while. I just, want to let you know, I just finished my 4 years at Humber or whatever it is, and I'm doing this now, So it's always good to hear back from them and see that they're doing well in life, So
And then all those players come back and say, "Hey, you know what? You guys need some help with the organization," so they come back and coaching. Like the past couple of years, like for me, I'm very proud of it. I've coached some of the guys from their grade 5, and now they're almost graduating university. They're coming back and they're coaching. And when I see them run practices, just the way that I ran, it's just
you're passing on your legacy, right?
It just feels really good.
Just recently, 2 of our alumni just came back to start coaching, literally
amazing.
last week. So it's good to see.
That's great.
So excited.
Yeah.
They're happy to be there.
Happy to be part of it. Yeah. So they had a good time, and they liked it and want to pass it on. And I think that's the joy, right, of in your position.
That's why I got into it when I first started, right? And I didn't think I would be here. You know what I mean? But yeah, for sure.
And you've stayed, and so it must be rewarding and enjoyment and fulfilling, right? So kudos to you guys. So, and sorry, I just wanted to say, it's not just boys that you guys train, right? You guys have female teams.
So
girls.
We're just about to, this fall we're about to launch our girls teams in York region. So that's Markham and Richmond Hill.
Yeah.
Durham has had a team for some girls teams for the last
2 to 3 years.
Yeah, 2 to 3 years, which and they've had some pretty good success. Like winning some gold medals and being in the top of the league for the Just for Her league and whatnot. So we're definitely going to be promoting some more girls programs, especially in New York region. Some development programs. Our development programs are co-ed, but we will be launching some girls only classes and whatnot.
Classes. So, nice. Yeah, because I think
thanks for reminding me about that.
Yeah, I know, because recently with the WNBA, the explosion of all those the last year the March Madness that just happened, it's like all of a sudden the WNBA.
I didn't even watch the guys.
Yeah,
I watched the girls.
They were more entertaining.
And they're saying that they're bringing a WNBA team to Toronto.
Yeah, that's just announced, right? So. Better start getting them recruited and start training them.
There you go. Yeah. now they have a team. They have somebody to look up for too. Hopefully they can bring a ship to the city again.
Yeah. lastly, I think before we kind of finish, we always ask our guests, a few kind of like personal questions, just kind of get to know you guys a little bit more in depthly. 2 questions we like to ask is, what's the one type of food that you would like to eat for the rest of your life if you could have one choice? What would that be?
Is hot pot a choice?
Hot pot? Yeah. I love hot pot.
Those that know me knows.
Yeah.
For me, it would probably be like Caribbean roti, so like
Caribbean
a Trinidadian
okay.
goat roti or something along those lines.
Oh, a little spice in it.
A little bit of spice.
Nice. Any recommendations for those places? You guys?
For my favorite roti, my favorite roti is from Mona's on Shepherd.
Mona's and Shepherd?
Yeah,
okay.
or Roti Hut right around the corner. It's one of the
Roti
two.
Hut?
You know what it is? You know what I've done a few times?
Yeah.
I've gone to Roti Hut and got the roti from them and gone to Mona's and got the meat from them and put it together. You know what I mean? Because I feel like Roti Hut has the shells, the actual roti, but then Mona's has the better curry.
Curry.
So,
okay. I'll have to go check those out
that's
sometime.
a tip for y'all that live in Scarborough.
And what about you, Ken? What's the favorite hot pot place for you?
Yeah, so I mean, just one nearby, Liu Yi Show. I don't know if you guys heard of that, but it's open late. It's great for me because I coach all the way till 10 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
So right after, I bring with my coaches or I go with like some of my friends and we just go till like midnight.
Oh, nice.
And it's place is solid.
Place solid?
Very solid.
I recently went, speaking of hot pot, I went to one called Daimaru Sukiyaki.
Oh, Daimaru,
it's the all you can eat like Wagyu one. It's you gotta go try that one too.
Yeah, I see some Wagyu stuff.
Yeah.
I be grilling Wagyu at home, so
maybe put that in some of the roti too.
Okay. I might have to see. I might have to try to do a combination. We'll see what happens.
All right. The second question is, what's the one feature you would like to have in your dream home?
Definitely a basketball court.
Basketball court?
Yeah. Definitely a basketball court.
So I love the ocean. I love water.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we don't live in the Caribbean, but I'm a big on snorkeling and scuba diving and that stuff. So I would love to be able to have a pond in my backyard and stock it with some fish.
Yeah.
And just snorkel.
Just snorkel all day.
Yeah, just snorkel.
That's
maybe I'll pick up fishing at that point. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Spear fishing. No, that's amazing. So pond and a basketball court.
Yeah, I bet you haven't heard that one yet. A pond in the backyard.
No, not a pond. Like our own.
It's not a swimming pool.
Yeah, it's not a swimming pool.
A swimming pond. Like the water's be crispy and nice. Don't worry.
I'll keep an eye out for those listings for you.
Let me know.
And before we go, I just want to also thank you guys for coming on. But Coach Jr. is also a DJ. If you guys don't know, can you talk real briefly about that? Like what's
for sure. So when I was a little kid, my brother and his friends used to rap and whatnot, and he often used to take me with him.
Yeah.
Because he had to babysit me, so he would take me to his friend's house when they would go outside and do whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
They would leave me inside the room, and there's a Sega Genesis there, and then there's 2 turntables and a mixer. Yeah. So I had a Sega Genesis at home, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to play with my brother's friends' turntables, and from there I just grew a passion for it, and I grew up listening to a lot of music, like having an older brother and an older sister. Shouts out to Dre and Camille, putting me on to a lot of music at a young age.
Nice.
I was involved with a lot of artists, going on tour with them. Wow. During like the 2000s and 2010s. Okay. Shout out to Lou Bree, shout out to Buck Slenderly, Mickey Blue. So yeah, I was DJing a lot in the city during those times. Now I'm trying to really focus just on corporate and wedding stuff. Basketball keeps me busy, so I can't constantly be out there promoting and selling, handing out flyers or selling tickets or whatnot, like a lot of these club promoters want us doing now. So I still have the passion for DJing, so still DJing here and there and whatnot. I was DJing till like 3 a.m. by myself last night, so
just working on your sets.
Yeah, just working on my sets, like testing out some new equipment I got.
Wow, no, that's dedication to the craft. So, and I know he does throw on a good show because at the All-Star game, I think, I saw you there. You were.
I was putting some work in. Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up this week's episode of our TimSold Talks. Thank you very much for coming on board. Amazing to see the success success you guys have had, and the so encouraged to see what you guys are building back into the community. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for that.
Thanks for having us, man. Appreciate it, Tim.
So, but before we go, where can our audience find you? Where would they be able to find you?
All right, so you can find me at Coach JD. You can find Ken at
Proving Grounds Academy.
Proving Grounds Academy,
Grounds,
which is actually a private training that Coach Ken and Coach Henry, one of our other coaches, do. You can also find us at Gators Academy on Instagram, as well as Gators Canada Elite on Instagram as well for our elite and our AU teams. Gators Basketball Academy.com.
Yeah, follow them and you'll see the amazing stuff that they're doing. So we'll put all the links to those, so you can find their contact details there. So if you enjoyed today's episode and you're looking to buy, sell, and invest, in real estate, please give us a follow, give us a 5-star review, and remember, guys, dream it, believe it, achieve it. It's a beautiful day to sell homes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tim Kern, and I proudly lead the TimSold team. We're voted as one of the top 3 brokerages in Markham, and we will sell your house fast and for top dollar with the least amount of hassle, or we guarantee to buy it. Call us today and start packing.